Many people think that a funeral dream is a bad dream because it involves the death of a person, but it is often a good dream. There are many episodes in which a relative gives birth when he thinks that a person will die in a funeral dream. Funeral dreams mean a change to a new situation. Death is a symbol of rebirth and resurrection, and the end of one thing is also a new beginning. The dream of having a funeral for a father or mother shows your desire to be independent. You seem to want to spend your time on your own, regardless of your parents' power. However, if you are already living independently and away from your father or mother, you may want to contact your parents. A mysterious power may be informing you of the incident of your parents in your dreams. Even if your parents in your dreams have a good impression, it's a good idea to contact them and ask them what's happening. If it's a funeral dream for your cousin or uncle or aunt, it's an indication that you care about that person. You may also have a desire to get in touch with that person. A child's funeral dream is a dream in which good things happen to the child, such as deciding the course of the child and changing the child often. A funeral dream that means there are strangers, maybe you are obsessed with the dead? You might think scary, but that's not the case. I'm sure you are protected by your ancestors. I think you just have to feel the sign without thinking deeply. A dream where many guests gather at home at a funeral is a dream that shows the misfortune around you, such as an upcoming funeral. The dream of a person who died in a funeral dream giving some instructions or advice is important, and that you are unknowingly aware of unlucky or dangerous or better directions. Represents. The dream of getting something from the person you died in a funeral dream shows your good luck. The dream of a person who died in a funeral dream is also lucky, and it may be a dream that you can fulfill the wish you gave up or regain the love you lost. If you dream of the funeral of a deceased person, you may have expressed your feelings of mourning the death of the deceased. Along with your desire to be alive, it implies a feeling of guilt that you may have been the cause of death for the deceased. If a deceased person comes up in a dream after a really real funeral, and if you realize that you were thinking of the deceased person recently, you simply think of that person and dream of it. It can be interpreted that you have seen up to. If not, it will be considered as a dream with a message, so let's pay attention to the appearance of the dead person who appeared in the dream. First, if the deceased person was saying something to you in a funeral dream, it's just a message to you. It may be a message that has some important meaning. The funeral is the end of life, but in the case of a funeral dream it also means the rebirth of a new life. It's best for you now to give up what you've been worried about, learn new ways of thinking, and open up a new life. If you dream of a funeral, you should have the courage to resist the bad things, rather than fearing that bad things will happen. Funeral dreams are based on the desire to abandon your old self and be reborn as a new self so that you can be better than you are now. A funeral dream is a dream when there is a movement in oneself to erase someone's memory in order to be new. If you feel intensely sad in a funeral dream, it's because you're practicing suffering to change yourself. Human dreams have a pattern of predicting what will happen and organizing emotions in the dreams. If you feel sad at a funeral in a dream, it's a dream when you're preparing for emotional ups and downs. On the other hand, a dream that makes you happy at a funeral means that you are no longer tied up in the past. You have become irrelevant to the past and your desire to live in the present seems to be growing. A dream where a funeral is taking place in a dream and you are late for the funeral shows that you are not facing reality now. Funerals are an important event in reality and in dreams. Being late for that important event indicates that you are more likely to be late for the event you have to go to in reality. If you dream of being late for the funeral, be careful not to make any mistakes in the real world. If you dream of a funeral for your lover or partner, it means that your relationship with your partner will regenerate. Sometimes it's based on your desire to lose your relationship with your partner, but in this case you should know that you want to break up with your partner. The funeral dream of a person you know may be a dream you have because you don't like that person. The funeral dreams of others you don't know are dreams that mean you get something. If someone you don't know dies, you won't be hurt. The dream of losing is the dream of gaining. Sometimes your useless worries will be resolved. This has to do with what you have and the desire to lose your memory. When you're radiating the desire to lose in your dreams, it's a dream when you can get something new in the real world. The funeral dream of a disliked person means that you have a desire to distance yourself from the disliked person. There is nothing you can do with people you don't like, so it's a good idea to keep as far away as possible. In your dreams, if the person you dislike comes back to life, it's a dream when you're predicting trouble with that person in the real world. If you dream of the funeral of someone who has already died, it means that you will be more organized.
Life is
Having a dream of a funeral for someone who has already died shows that you haven't been able to sort out your feelings for the person who died. There seems to be a desire to sort out the feelings of the death of someone you thought was important. Be careful if you have a strangely realistic funeral dream. Funeral dreams are dangerous if they are clear. If you have a strangely realistic funeral dream, it could be a precognitive dream. If you dream of a real funeral for someone you know, you should contact that person right away. If something happens to your family in your dreams, you should contact them by phone or email. I myself dreamed of carrying my father's casket when he was alive, and then it became a true dream. I should have contacted you immediately, but I didn't. If someone who was really sad at the funeral in the past dreamed of a funeral, the horror and unpleasant experience of that time would be imprinted in your heart, and that is your unstable psychology now. It may be a case that appears in a dream mixed with. In this case, it means that you are psychologically overly tired. Your own funeral dream means that you want to start a new life. It seems that you want a new environment or want to start something new. It's a great time for you to start something new. Your own funeral dreams may indicate that you are pregnant and becoming a parent. Your own funeral dream is a dream you have when there are major changes in your life.